Hi, this one is from techarget.com. That's an expert security firm. I refer it to you for your future security concerns and needs. And also, the reason I'm trying to read this interesting article is to practice English. Yes, I am not a native speaker, and I need to practice English all the time. I am an IT engineer, salesman, and strategist myself. So recently I've been selling UTMs to my customers, and I need to be knowledgeable about the current internet threat levels, and players, and so on. So let's delve in and check out what kind of backdoor attack is. So here we go. Definition: backdoor computing. Ben Lutkovich, technical features writer. Brian Posse. What is a backdoor? A backdoor attack is a way to access computer system or encrypted data that bypasses the system's customary security mechanisms. It bypasses the system's customary security mechanisms. A developer may create a backdoor so that an application, operating system, or data can be accessed for troubleshooting or other purposes. Attackers make use of backdoors that software developers install, and they also install backdoors themselves as a part of a exploitation, players, criminals. Whether added as an administrative tool, or means of attack, or a mechanism allowing the government to access encrypted data, all backdoor installations is security risk. Threat actors are always looking for these sorts of vulnerabilities to take advantage of. What is a backdoor attack? A backdoor attack occurs when threat actors. That was the word I was looking for. Threat actors create or use a backdoor to gain remote access to a system. These attacks let attackers gain control of system resources, perform network reconnaissance, and install different types of malware. In some cases, attackers design a worm or virus to take advantage of an existing backdoor created by the original developers or from an early attack. To illustrate how backdoors undermine security systems, consider a bank vault that is protected with several layers of security. It has armed guards at the front door, sophisticated locking mechanisms, and biometric access controls that make it possible to access without proper authorization. However, a backdoor that bypasses these measures, such as a large ventilation shaft, makes the vault vulnerable to attack. The malicious actions threat actors perform once they access a system include the following: stealing sensitive information, performing fraudulent transactions, installing spyware, keyloggers, and Trojan horses, using rootkits, launching denial of service attacks, hijacking servers, and defacing websites, fraudulent transactions, defacing websites. The consequences of a backdoor attack vary. In some cases, they can be immediate and severe and result in a data breach that harms customers and the business. In other cases, the effect shows up later as the attacker uses the backdoor first for reconnaissance and returns later to execute a series of direct attacks. I was thinking of something else, so let me read these one more time. The consequences of a backdoor attack vary. In some cases, they can be immediate and severe and result in a data breach that harms customers and their businesses. In other cases, the effect shows up later as the attacker uses the backdoor first for reconnaissance and returns later to execute a series of direct attacks. Backdoor attacks can be large-scale operations targeting government and enterprise IT infrastructure. However, small attacks are used to target individuals and personal computing implementations. Advanced persistent threats are sophisticated cyber attacks that might use a backdoor to attack a system on multiple fronts. With these sorts of attacks, the backdoor could remain in the system for a long time. What do backdoors work? How do backdoors work? In the context of an attack, backdoors are hidden mechanisms attackers use to access a system without authentication. However, vendors sometimes create backdoors for legitimate purposes, such as restoring a user's lost password or providing government entities with access to encrypted data. Other backdoors are created and installed nefariously by hackers and nefariously, fraudulently, nefariously by hijackers, the threat actors. Developers sometimes use backdoors during the development process and don't remove them, leaving them as a potential vulnerability point. Malware can also act as a backdoor. In some cases, malware is a first-line backdoor, where it provides a staging platform for downloading other malware modules that perform an actual attack. With this type of attack, threat actors install a web shell to establish a backdoor on targeted systems and obtain remote access to a server. Install a web shell. The attacker uses command and control server to send commands through the backdoor to sensitive data or otherwise cause harm. Nefariously, fraudulently, a web shell, threat actors. How a backdoor attack works? Hackers use backdoors to communicate with a command and control server and bypass security. So let's go horizontal here. A command and control center on the left. A hacker sends and the attacker and the local DNS server and firewall on in the middle. Attacker sends positive data to the command and control server via open ports exposed by the backdoor. So attacker installs a backdoor on a target system, and then attacker sends sensitive data to the command and control server via open ports exposed by the backdoor. So KT, you gotta be careful. High order, T order, they have all the backdoors. Encryption algorithms and networking protocols can contain backdoors. For example, in 2016, researchers described how the prime numbers in encryption algorithms could be crafted to let an attacker factor the primes and break the encryption. Encryption algorithms and networking protocols can contain backdoors. For example, in 2016, researchers described how the prime numbers in encryption algorithms could be crafted to let an attacker factor the primes and break the encryption. Damn, that's a serious problem. In 2014, an approach prime numbers, primes or prime numbers break the encryption algorithms. In 2014, an approach to random number generation called dual elliptic curve deterministic random bit generator, or dual EC DRBG, was found to contain a fault that made its resulting random seed numbers predictable. Some security experts speculated that the U.S. National Security Agency, NSA, allowed dual EC DRBG to be used even though it knew about the weaknesses. So the agents could use it as a backdoor. This accusation has not been proven. Types of backdoor attacks. I will stop here and come back to this spot later because I have to go to work now. Bye-bye. As a matter of fact, I'm in Namon City at the moment. I finished work earlier today at 15:30. That's three and a half hours. And then I moved to Namon City to get a haircut, very cheap, affordable haircut. Then I am at a ginseng factory where the raw ginseng is cleaned, washed thoroughly, then cooked, steamed to become what we call red ginseng. Red ginseng is more potent than the raw ginseng, so that's more expensive. When you cook the red ginseng, it becomes gooey, it becomes ointment, and that's more expensive. But the potency is so strong. I personally can attest to that because when I scooped up the red ginseng ointment, it was really sweet, tasty, and potent. You could feel the force. And suddenly your headache is gone, suddenly your stamina is boosted up, suddenly your tiredness is gone entirely. So, but at the moment I'm waiting for my colleagues at the factory. They are females, 3 of them. They were called to work for today. So they are from Gwangju. And yep, hiya. Dog? Hello. So dog is strapped over there. So let's finish this article. I just left off types of backdoor attacks. So the types of backdoor attacks, various types of malware are used in backdoor attacks, including the following. Cryptojacking occurs when a victim's computing resources are hijacked to mine cryptocurrency. Cryptojacking attacks target all sorts of devices and systems. So if your computer is suddenly slow, very slow, and something is using the electricity a lot, then probably your computer was affected by cryptojacking. DOS attacks overwhelm servers, systems, and networks with unauthorized traffic so that legitimate users can't access them. Ransomware is malware that prevents users from accessing a system and the files it contains. Attackers usually demand payment of ransom for the resources to be unlocked. Spyware is a malware that steals sensitive information and relays it to other users without the information owner's knowledge. It can steal credit card numbers, account login data, and location information. Credit card numbers, account login data, and location information. Keyloggers are a form of spyware used to record a user's keystrokes and steal passwords and other sensitive data. Trojan horse is a malicious program that's often installed through a backdoor and appears harmless. A backdoor Trojan includes a backdoor that enables remote administrative control of a targeted system. Various attack vectors are used to install backdoors, such as the following. Attack vectors. A vector has strength and direction, right? It has direction. It can be XY, rectangular frame, or radius and theta frame, and any other frames. So vectors, attack vectors. Federated learning. This decentralized method of machine learning trains models locally on edge devices as opposed to collecting data and training it in a centralized location. Edge devices have limited communication with the centralized servers. This lets threat actors poison a training data set and embed a backdoor on the central server when it does communicate with the edge device. Federated learning, hardware. So they are called attack vectors. Hardware, like a attacking method or corrupting your system. Hardware, attackers use modified chips, processors, hard drives, and USBs to create backdoors. Internet of Things, IoT, components of these systems such as security cameras, drones, and smart thermostats can act as backdoors and turn into security vulnerabilities. IoT devices often come equipped with default passwords that function as a backdoor. Administrators often don't change them, and hackers can easily guess them. Island hopping. These types of attacks target an organization's third-party business partners to gain unauthorized access to the large organization being targeted. Supply chains can be compromised using island hopping. So the partners are basically islands, and you just attack partners to gain access to the mainland. So the attack vector is called island hopping. Phishing. Seemingly legitimate emails are used to trick users into giving hackers sensitive information and can be used to install backdoor malware. Steganography. Malware is concealed in the bitmap of an image file. These files would normally not be considered a security threat, but steganography turns them into one. Steganography. So a lot of attack vectors include steganography, phishing, island hopping, Internet of Things. Yeah, I work for Korea Telecom KT, the number one carrier in Korea. I'm very proud of my company. But we heavily invest in the Internet of Things services. So I think many customers could face vulnerability when they don't have tight security systems such as UTMs, firewalls, or any virus, malware tracking system or software installed on their systems. Hardware and federated learning. Detection and prevention. Backdoors are designed to be hidden from most users. They are hidden using alias names, code obfuscation. You make things opaque, obfuscation, and multiple layers of encryption. This makes backdoors difficult to detect. Code obfuscation, alias names, multiple layers. Detection and prevention methods include the following tools and strategies. Supply chain attack. Supply chain attacker, targeted organization, third-party vendor. The supply chain attacker or actor enters the third-party vendor system using backdoor access. Then they target the organization using data flow. So, almost done. Bear with me. Supply chains are vulnerable to island hopping attacks because third parties provide a path into target organizations or access to the target organization's data. Yeah, that could happen with big corporations such as Kia Motors and Hyundai Motors in Korea. We gotta be careful. And also my company, KT, the biggest company in Korea, we are also constantly watching out for those criminal actors. Any anti-malware, some detection and prevention. Anti-malware, some anti-malware software can detect and prevent a backdoor from being installed. Firewalls ensure a firewall protects every device on the network. Application firewalls and web application firewalls can help prevent backdoor attacks by limiting the traffic that can flow across open ports. So just hardware firewalls, but I think they are focused more on the layer 3 and 4, or the IP and TCP layers. But application firewalls and web application firewalls, they are more focused on the layer 6 and 7, especially layer 7, I think. I need to take a look into that firewalls too, because I am selling UTMs to my customers. Hey man, you got to be knowledgeable when you sell products to customers. Honeypots. These security mechanisms lure attackers to a fake target. Honeypots are used to protect the real network and study the behavior of an attacker without their knowledge. Honeypots. Network monitoring. IT professionals use a protocol monitoring tool or network analyzer or protocol monitoring tool to inspect network packets. Malicious traffic can contain signatures that indicate the presence of a backdoor, and abnormal spikes in traffic can signal suspicious activity. Security best practices. Standard security measures and a layered cybersecurity strategy help prevent attackers from creating backdoors. If a backdoor is created for a legitimate purpose, its attack surface should be minimized. It also must be monitored and removed once its legitimate use is finished. Security best practices. Layered cybersecurity strategy. So it's just not one layer, but you need to have a multi-layer protection, such as UTMs, then application firewalls, or web application firewalls, multi-layered security. Also, you need to have a physical access security installed, allow listing. Use allow listing to avoid untrusted software and only allow trusted user access with a proper authentication. Choose applications and plugins with caution, as the cybercriminals often hide backdoors in free applications and plugins. Cybercriminals often hide backdoors in free applications and plugins. 4-step building a cybersecurity strategy. 1. Understand your cyber threat landscape. 2. Access your cybersecurity maturity. 3. Determine how to improve your cybersecurity program. 4. Document your cybersecurity strategy. 1. Understand your cyber threat landscape. I have to stop here because the group is going to the restaurant. Talk to you later. So I was finishing this off at the ginseng factory, but I've left off where? At this point. So there are 4 steps to building a cybersecurity strategy. You need to have a strong strategy, I guess. 1. Understand your cyber threat landscape. Examine types of threats facing your organization. Determine which threats affect your organization most often and most severely. Go up to speed on cyber threat trends, for example, rise in ransomware. Get up to speed on cyber threat trends. That's good English. Get up to speed on cyber threat trends. 2. Assess your cybersecurity maturity. Select a cybersecurity framework. For example, NIST cybersecurity framework. Determine your organization's current level of maturity for all categories and subcategories. For example, policies, governance, security technologies, instant recovery capabilities. Use same framework to determine the maturity level goals for next 3 to 5 years. 3. Determine how to improve your cybersecurity program. Determine improvements needed to reach maturity objectives. Brainstorm options for achieving the objectives with pros and cons for each option. Present options to upper management for review, feedback, and support. 4. Document your cybersecurity strategy. Write and or update cybersecurity plans, policies, guidelines, procedures, etc. Spell out each person's responsibility in carrying out their strategy. Carrying out the strategy. Spell out. That's good expression too. Spell out each person's responsibility in carrying out the strategy. Update your cybersecurity awareness and training initiatives. So understand your cyber threat landscape. 2. Assess your cybersecurity maturity. 2. Determine how to improve your cybersecurity program. 4. Document your cybersecurity strategy. A little bit esoteric. One principle of a strong cybersecurity strategy is to hold software and system developers accountable for backdoors they create as part of the development process so that they aren't forgotten and left for attackers to exploit. Yeah, you need to have strong contract and penalty clause. And also you need to go through the audit process on your own. Famous backdoor attacks. There have been a number of high-profile backdoor attacks in recent years, including the following. SolarWinds. In late 2020, cybersecurity company FireEye discovered a dangerous backdoor hidden in updates for SolarWinds Orion network management software. The attackers are suspected to be nation-state actors. Nation or state actors. So like North Korea, Russia, Israel, or the US. So the attackers are suspected to be nation-state actors. They secretly modify the SolarWinds software to facilitate island hopping attacks that installed malware on Orion customer networks. The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency said the attack began as early as March 2020 and that not all compromised organizations were actually targeted by the attacker for follow-up actions. Island hopping. Yep, nation state, rogue state. In late 2021, Microsoft security researchers identified a backdoor exploit called Foggy Web that the SolarWinds attackers are thought to have created. It let them access SolarWinds Active Directory server and steal user credentials. Here, Active Directory server means, or like a LDAP. It's like a credential of the each and every employee, like employee ID number, their rank, phone number, email address, their access level of certain systems, and like a two-factor authentication, their salary level, and all the background. So Active Directory, you gotta be careful. So LDAP. The Foggy Web backdoor gave a hacker group Nobelium a persistent entry point to the internal network, bypassing firewalls, the DMZ, and other external-facing security measures. External-facing security measures. Exterior, interior, external-facing, not interior-facing, not internal-facing, external-facing security measures. That's good expression. External-facing security measures. Zycel. In early 2021, a Dutch cybersecurity firm discovered a backdoor secret account hard-coded in Zycel firewalls and access point AP controllers. Wow, hard-coded. It cannot be erased. Like a firmware, it does not run on the RAM, but probably stored as a part of the stored under SSD or hard drive, hard-coded. You cannot easily erase it. The secret account let attackers give themselves administrative privileges, including the ability to change firewall settings and intercept traffic. The backdoor exploited a vulnerability in the credentials used to update firewall and AP controller firmware. Damn, they used the credential to update the firewall and AP controller firmware. Vulnerability. Back of orifice. The hacker group Cult of the Dead Cow created this malware in 1998. Wow, so early to take advantage of vulnerabilities in the Windows OS. It installed backdoors that allowed remote control of Windows computers. Back orifice, Zycel. Backdoors aren't always software-based, and they aren't always created by rogue hackers. In 2013, the German news outlet Der Spiegel reported that the NSA's Tailored Access Operations Unit maintained a catalog of backdoors to implant in firewalls, routers, and other devices to be used overseas. The NSA also allegedly incorporated backdoor capabilities into individual hardware components such as hard drives and even USB cables. What do you mean USB cables? I think USB memory sticks, right? Hard drives and even USB cables. Malware and ransomware are two common cyber threats used in backdoor attacks. Learn more about these two attack types and why ransom is so pervasive. So from this article, we learned such expressions as hard-coded, malware, ransomware, persistent, vulnerability, a backdoor exploit. What else? Rogue state, not a rogue, and threat actors. Intercept traffic, nation-state actors, nation-state actors such as Israel, the USA, Iran, North Korea, and the Soviet Union or Russia, nation-state actors. Yeah, I don't trust Israelis. I respect their intelligence, their thought out plans, but sometimes they are sneaky and they do wreak havoc on the surrounding nations with preemptive strikes. Maybe that's their only method of survival, but still many people died. Zycel. Spell out each employee's responsibility in carrying out specific measures to prevent intrusion. Spell out, carry out, well thought out, Strategy, famous backdoor attacks, allow listing, like a blacklisting, whitelisting, best practices, honeypots, malware, supply chain attack called island hopping, steganography in image file, phishing, island hopping, Internet of Things. Well, I didn't expect that, but it happens. Hardware, federated learning, that's good expression too. Trojan horse, spyware, ransomware, DDoS attacks, cryptojacking, types of backdoor attacks, right? Types of backdoor attacks. Plural, both types and attacks. Networking protocol, backdoor attacks. Command and control server, backdoors, advanced persistent threats, web application firewall or application firewall, web server firewall, stealing sensitive information, types of malware, right? Malware here, it's plural, it's a singular always. So types of malwares, wrong. Types of malware is correct. Worm, virus, threat actors, computer exploit. Okay, so that's it. It was a long article. I've read, I had to stop twice, so this whole article was broken into 3, but I successfully merged them together into one video file. So I hope this one was not boring, but rather inspirational and educational, and also piqued your interest. Yes, let's learn English more and be get up to speed on learning English. Yeah, get up to speed on learning English. This one was from techtarget.com. Wow, they have a very extensive and intensive expertise on cybersecurity. If you do need some work on your network threat intrusion prevention, these tech target guys are your go-to persons, right? Good work. Tech target. Let's go to they are I think they are American company. So let's see. Editorial Kelly Damore, VP Editorial and Chief Content Officer. 617. I think they are Americans. Analyst and public relations, finance and accounting, sales, investor relations, careers. So they have a presence on Facebook, Twitter, now X. Elon Musk, stupid guy. LinkedIn, privacy, global offices, Newton, Massachusetts, New York. Okay, so they are based in Newton, Massachusetts. I've been there once. London, UK, Paris, France, Munich, Germany, Singapore, Sydney, Australia. No presence in Korea. Okay, company. Let's go to company. About us. Using real process intent data to accelerate revenue growth, insights-driven innovation for marketing, sales, impact, and so on. Tech Target end-to-end, they're a good company. I really appreciate your in-depth article. Good work. Keep up the good work, man. You did a good job. Take care, everybody. Have fun and enjoy your hump day tomorrow.